Hello, everyone. I'm Mayor Kathryn McGarry. Wearing a cloth mask or face covering helps fight the spread of COVID-19. Today, I'm joined by Ellen Otterbein, Infection and Prevention Control Nurse at the Cambridge Memorial Hospital. Hello, Ellen.
Hi there, Kathryn. It's great to be with you today.
And I'm really delighted to be here with you. You know, Ellen, as a nurse, I'm pretty used to wearing personal protective equipment like masks. And now, as you know, Regional Council has passed a bylaw requiring cloth masks or face coverings on public transit and when in enclosed public spaces like stores. So I thought I'd ask you here to sort of ask some advice. So I might just start out with a question about what advice you offer to people on getting used to wearing a mask.
That's great. So masks may help prevent people who have COVID-19 from spreading the virus to others. Wearing a mask helps protect other people around you. So it prevents your droplets from getting out to other people and posing risk to them. Masks are most likely to reduce the spread of COVID-19 when they're widely used by people in public settings. The spread of COVID-19 can be further reduced when masks are used along with other preventive measures, including physical distancing, frequent cleaning of hands, and diligent cleaning and disinfecting of frequently touched surfaces.
Yep, and those are all good suggestions. So I'm going to ask you, being the expert, what's the best way to put on and wear a mask, or how to take one off properly?
All right, so there are a few steps to pay attention to when we're putting masks on. The first is to find some hand sanitizer and use it. So I took about a pump, that's it. Took about a pump of product and I'm going to rub it all over my hands, covering all the surfaces, including my thumbs, in between my fingers, and my nail beds as well. So I've got a good hand hygiene. If I've used enough product, it should actually take about 15 seconds for my hands to be dry. Then what we'll do is we'll find our mask and we will go ahead and put the ear loops on. Now, some masks have strings or ties, and those we would be simply tying at the back of our head, keeping the top ones near the top of our head and the lower ones to the back of our head. And then, as you saw, I adjust it. So the key is for the mask to fit over the nose and the mouth and come and meet up with our chin. So to be covering the nose and mouth and chin. And then you just want to check that your mask has a nice, not a seal, but a nice fit against your face. So you shouldn't have a lot of gaping at the sides or really anywhere. Some masks have a nose piece that can be molded to the nose. Not all of them have it, especially if they're handmade. So if your mask does have a nose piece, you can take your fingers and adjust that nose piece so that it fits nicely against your nose. And then the next piece of the puzzle is to clean your hands again. So now, once my hands are dry, I'm going to be all set to go on that bus or in that store or whatever I need to do. Now, there are some guidelines when we've got the mask on. We want to make sure that we're not touching it as we wear it. So yes, shifting can happen, and there may come a time where you do need to adjust it. So if your mask pulls down and your nose is exposed like this, that's not protective. So we need to adjust the mask. Once we've made the adjustment, it's really important that we clean our hands again. There's a lot of hand cleaning involved with this mask, that's for sure. So we won't touch it when we're wearing it as much as we can avoid it, because every time we do that, we risk contaminating ourselves. The next piece, when you're wearing it or when you know it's time actually to change your mask, If your mask becomes difficult to breathe through or visibly soiled or damaged in some way, then it's time to take that mask off and get a different one. So to remove a mask, the first thing is make sure you have clean hands. So we're going to clean our hands yet again. Then we're going to take our clean hands and we're going to carefully behind our ear find that ear loop, or if it's a mask with ties, carefully undo those ties in a very controlled fashion and simply pull it off like so. All right, so we can grab that ear loop and pull it off that way. And then if you're going to be reapplying the mask, so let's say I've just come out of the store, I no longer need to wear the mask at this point in time. I've touched only the ear loops that were protected behind my ears, so my hands really aren't very contaminated at this point in time. What I'm going to do, if I'm going to drive to another location, I'm in my own vehicle, I don't need to wear my mask right now, is I can take this mask and sort of stretch it so that it's its natural state when I received it or when I've just washed it and it's nice and clean. And I can fold it in half with the inside of the mask facing the outside. So it's actually inside out. So the front of my mask is inside and the inside of my mask is outside. Then what I'm going to do, well, the part that was facing the outer world when I had it on my face will be contaminated or could be contaminated with any and all kinds of microorganisms, all kinds of germs. So what I don't want to have happen when I store my mask in the bag, because I'm going to put it on again, is for those germs that are on the outside of the mask to get on the inside of my bag, okay? Because this storage bag I can reuse until it, you know, it's only a paper bag. It's not going to last forever. So the idea is I want to keep the inside of the bag as clean as I can. I need to be able to put my mask somewhere. And so I can put my mask safely inside the bag until I need it again. And notice this is a paper bag, it's not a plastic bag. That's to allow for some air circulation, okay? Because a plastic bag will sort of keep things from getting to your mask, which is great, except not if your mask is at all moist or from the humidity of your breath. So that's why we put the mask into the paper bag with the inside facing out. So that's how we would reuse that mask. And of course, then always the last step, clean your hands.
Yep, once again.
There we go. So we've got clean hands, we haven't contaminated our face, and we are safe to move on with the rest of our day.
Those are great tips, and thank you for bringing those forward. So I wear a cloth mask. You know what, you saw at the beginning of the video, and many people are. So what's the best way to keep our face masks clean when they're not disposable, such as the paper ones?
Right. So you should wash your mask after each use. So when we talk about, you know, the strategy for reusing that mask, that would be over the course of a day. And at the end of that day, it's a good time to clean it. So when you get home for the day and, you know, you're ready to sort of, you know, get into relaxation mode or not work mode, that's a great time to incorporate mask washing into your schedule. So clean after each use. You can wash your mask in your washing machine along with your regular laundry, making sure to use a detergent and a warm water setting. You can also hand wash your mask, and that would be done best by using a solution of household bleach. So taking 1/3 of a cup of bleach for a little less than 4 liters of water, or 4 teaspoons of bleach, household bleach, and about 1 liter of water at room temperature. And of course, you never want to mix bleach with any other cleaners or disinfectants. You're going to soak that mask or those masks for about 5 minutes in the bleach solution, and then you can give them a nice thorough rinse with water. No matter how you wash your mask, ensure it's completely dry before you use it again. So to dry it, you can put it in the dryer on high heat until it's completely dry, or you can lay it flat and allow it to dry completely in the air. And it's a great idea, especially during our warm summer months, to be able to place it where it can get some direct sunlight, and that will also help then to decrease any microbial burden that's left on it.
That's fantastic. How is Cambridge Memorial Hospital ensuring that people have a cloth mask to wear?
So anyone that comes in either as a patient or as a visitor to a patient will absolutely, if they're not already wearing a mask, we will give them a mask that is handmade by a wonderful group of individuals in the community known as the mask makers. That group has been just incredibly helpful and supportive of our hospital and indeed our entire community in providing these handmade masks that are one of a kind. So it's, at one point we talked about a visit to the hospital coming with a memento. So you can come in, you can get a cloth mask from our screening people at the front door, and then when you enter into the hospital, you can wear that for the duration of your time in the hospital and be safe.
Are they able to take it home with them then?
Absolutely, yes.
Well, that's a good memento to have. And really one of the last things I wanted to ask you, Ellen, and thank you for the time today, but what's the most important message that you want to share about wearing a mask during this pandemic?
I think the most important thing to really highlight about wearing a mask is, it's one piece of the puzzle in terms of how we can prevent and control the spread of COVID. It's not, it's not perfect as a solution, but at this point in time, it is an important thing that all of us can do. It's a simple, small gesture that conveys desire to, support other people in the community from getting COVID. And I think that it speaks volumes for people in a community to come together and be uniform in the desire to preserve health and well-being of everybody.
Well, that's fantastic, Ellen. So thanks everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Ellen, for demonstrating the appropriate use of a mask. I have my hand sanitizer gel everywhere I go, including the car, a variety of masks everywhere I go, and they're cleaned. But I wanted to say again, thank you. Wearing a mask is part of the public health measures in order to protect us against COVID-19. So remember, everyone, physically distance at least 2 meters or 6 feet away from everybody. Wear a mask when you're indoors in public spaces or where physical distancing is difficult. Wash your hands often, and remember, take care of each other. We're all in this together. Thanks so much.